how could a simple 3DS game be chewing up so much bring home that shiny
We got a
Fennekin?
shiny Pidgey in 372 encounters.
Yep, I wasn't joking at the end last time. A Pidgey quickly joined my ranks just one day after finding Fennekin. I named him Gilbert, after the late Gilbert Gottfried, the actor known for his work such as the voice of Iago in Aladdin, the voice of that other annoying bird in PBS Kids' Cyber Chase, and who could forget his rousing reading of 50 Shades of Grey.
My inner goddess has stopped dancing and is staring too, open-mouthed and drooling slightly.
And with such a short hunt, I pressed on into Santaloon Forest. Inside, I find my friend group running around as I begin to explore. This friend in the pink shirt accompanied me and functioned as a medic, providing my Pokemon with heals whenever I talked to her. But despite her kind actions, I still haven't bothered remembering her name. In fact, I only know the name of one of these friends. Tierno, my true rival. This pear-shaped bastard is later involved in a plot to cause me long-lasting mental harm. It didn't take long to find out which shiny I was going to run into, because just like Pidgey on Route 2, I found my next shiny very early, at 754 encounters. Wow, I've been so lucky so far, surely this trend will continue. Welcome with me into the world of Seinfeld the Kakuna. With his impressive range of moves such as Harden and... There's not much to talk about regarding the trainer battles in this forest. All of them are bug trainers, and with Fennekin turning all of their Pokemon into Indian street food, I didn't have to worry about any of the battles giving me trouble. With the trainers defeated and the shiny Pokemon captured, there's nothing left for me in Santaloon Forest, so I gotta move on to the route before the next town and first gym, Route 3. While I am used to disappointments, being one myself, nothing could have prepared me for Route 3. Of all the potential Pokemon on this route, there's only one that I did not want. Perhaps this is all punishment for beginning what I began calling the brain rot segments of each stream. You may recall my ascension to peak gaming efficiency last episode, where I hunted so effectively I achieved Nirvana. Well, multiple days of hunting for a digital creature with a slightly different color palette and 5,000 counters with nothing to show for it can make one begin to question their life choices. And to silence this mental questioning, and any other voices that might be calling out from the abyss, I had to get creative. And I'm not proud of what my setup has become. And apparently neither was Game Freak. I knew my luck on Route 2 and in Santaloon Forest was too good to be true, and when Pokemon giveth, it will inevitably taketh. After going well over odds, reaching 6,836 encounters, a shiny Fletchling decided to grace me with its presence. It was appropriately named Brainrot BBB, the 3 Bs being an accident, but that's not surprising given the garbage dancing on my screen for the last couple of hours. My reasoning for being disappointed by a Fletchling was due to Fennekin and Pidgey already providing the typing that it was going to bring to the table, but I had no idea at the time that this Fletchling would be the mastermind that set into motion a series of events that I would never fully recover from. Ah, Santaloon City. Home of the first of 8 gyms that I will need to conquer in order to beat the game. And it only took 29 hours to get here. As I gaze over the scenery, this beautiful location, I can't help but notice the statue in the middle of town. It reminds me of a statue I have on display in another game that also respects my time. Wait, what happened? Oh, I knew that statue looked familiar. It's the Selena Gomez statue from the 2010 crossover event in the hit game Wizard 101. But the adventures of Sophia Burns, I know that name is not a coincidence. We'll have to wait for another time. Welcome to the first gym. It only took us 10 days. This first gym teaches us the formula that future gyms will follow for the rest of the game. Navigate some pathways, battle some trainers that have decided to spend the majority of their time here, and defeat the leader. The first gym leader's name isn't important because the battle took about as long as that explanation. It's already time to move on. First badge acquired.
Don't touch that dial now, we're just getting started.
From Santaloon City, there are 2 routes available to me. Route 22 is a dead end, and Route 4 leads to Lumio City, the next progress point in the game's story. But since Route 22 is available to me now, and I have to shiny hunt any available location before progressing, I start there. I tucked my character into a nice grassy corner, and I started to hunt. Now, remember how I mentioned that when Pokemon giveth, that it will also taketh? Well, that's a two-way street, baby. I found myself a shiny Azrael after 1,579 encounters, and named that bouncing bundle of joy.
Heck boy.
Oh, baby, I knew my luck was going to pull through for me. I knew that. And then on Route 4, I had to wait 5,411 encounters to finally run into a shiny Flabébé. God, let's just move on. Lumiose is honestly a really sweet location. Despite the janky camera that was controlled only by moving your roller skates? Who comes up with this stuff? It was fun to run from building to building to see what was inside. Supposedly, the city is based off of Paris, and there are obvious tells such as the massive Temu knockoff of the Eiffel Tower. But if you ask me, I think Game Freak took more inspiration from the state of Texas, because when you first arrive at the city, half of it isn't functioning due to a power outage. In one of the buildings, I ran into the character who the game wants you to think is the main villain. However, the real villains of this arc were waiting in the shadows for the perfect time to strike. The whole purpose of this visit to Lumiose City was to meet this game's Pokemon professor, Professor Sycamore. He offers me a second starter to further assist me with my journey. I'm beginning to see why this game is considered easy. I went for a shiny Bulbasaur because the typing of it would be a welcome addition to my team. This hunt was like the first shiny hunt of the game. Match through dialogue, receive the Pokemon, and check to see if it's shiny. And it didn't take long. In fact, it only took 1,540 encounters. With my new Bulbasaur, his name undecided until I encountered the nickname NPC, and a Mega Stone Fort in my pocket, I left Lumiose City to begin the arduous trek to find the next gym. As previously mentioned, I never wanted Fletchling on my team, and with Bulbasaur being my 7th shiny of the run, someone needed to be benched. Brainrot was the obvious choice, and he took that personally. You see, on Route 5 you encounter Tierno, who challenges you to a battle. His party, a singular Corphish. Nothing a Bulbasaur couldn't handle. But little did I know that I was playing right into my enemy's hands. Let me explain to you my running theory on why things went down the way that they did. Brainrot must have approached Tierno with the task to take out the newest member of my team. So Corphish was given some gym candy, rather than an orange berry for breakfast, and my Bulbasaur got clowned on and taken out in 2 hits. Tierno received his PayPal, Fletchling got its spot back on my team, and Bulbasaur was sent to the Shadow Realm, an amazing series of events. I told you there were bigger villains in this game. Despite the awful turn of events, Route 5 provided a saving grace by introducing the Horde mechanic. Going forward, there's a chance on some routes that a wild Pokemon encounter will be a group of 5 creatures at once rather than 1. And that just means more pulls on the shiny slot machine per encounter. I mean, just look at this. Can you not feel the neurons in your brain firing at the sight of it? More multi-boxing, more encounters, more brain rot. 4,400 encounters sent me a shiny Gulpin, who received the name Budget Ditto for his uncanny resemblance to a shiny Ditto. I was very excited to get off this route and progress to the next town. Camphor Town was more of a pit stop. There was nothing of significance, but all the citizens were passing out all sorts of goodies. I went in to heal my Pokemon, and Nurse Joy dropped a bombshell of a surprise on me. At some point while hunting on Route 5, my team contracted Pokerus. Now I'm not going to bore you with the details of what Pokerus does, however, I am going to brag about my insane luck for encountering it. At the end of a wild Pokemon battle, a member of your party has a 1 in 21,845 chance to contract Pokerus. It is essentially 5 times rarer than a shiny Pokemon. Let me put into perspective some situations that are more likely to happen before encountering Pokerus. Finding a 4-leaf clover, bowling a perfect game, getting a perfect score on the SAT, getting into Harvard, becoming an astronaut, a pink sheep spawning in Minecraft, don't get me started on why mine has a gravesite, and your crush texting back. Actually, that last one isn't true. The odds of that are actually 0. So yeah, Pokerus was a crazy find, and certainly not on my bingo card for this run. Though I would give it all up if I could just spend one more day with Bulbasaur. The path after Camphor Town splits into Route 6 and Route 7. Route 7 is currently being blocked by a body positivity activist after I've decided it is in my best interest not to continue this joke. And the only way to get it out of the way is to retrieve a flute from a man at the end of Route 6. Where more trainer battles, a shiny hunt, and a massive mansion awaited me. What exciting things will I encounter down this path? Powerful held items to boost the power of my party? perhaps my will to live. If only future me could warn past me about the catastrophic event that awaited me on this road.
We lost 2 Pokemon in one fight.